morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. This is Lucy Ora on Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from Television Nigeria, Gusape Hills, Abuja. The television that brings all the trending news on politics, entertainment, sports, and lots more. Joining me on the program this morning is my colleague,
Quest Ahundu.
Thanks for joining me, Quest.
Thank you.
Actually, this morning, the news, everywhere I go this morning, I keep hearing about the handover tomorrow. Yeah. The swearing in, actually, because there's no handover. And then the children, I'm sure, coming from the Children's Day, and then we're now going into new transition of government.
It was an exciting day yesterday to see how excited the children were to celebrate their day. And I think it's a good thing to set out a day specifically to celebrate children. It gives them a sense of belonging in a country like Nigeria.
Yeah. And to think that the swearing in is tomorrow, I'm sure the adults too are excited. Yes. Because tomorrow we'll be swearing in the president again for the second term. And that takes me to, how was the first term?
Well, it's been a roller coaster, I would say. Up, down, it's been a lot of drama. And I want to believe that the next 4 years will be more exciting than the last 4 years was.
Yeah, democracy has been about 20 years now.
Tomorrow makes it 20 years.
Wow, that's really, it's a groundbreaking something to actually think that we've been through all these ups and downs, and everybody could say, at least when I was a child, when it was the military regime, actually. But I believe my parents would tell me there's nothing like democracy. There's nothing like being able to be free to say what you want. Freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of,
expression.
Because we can actually sit here and criticize the government and say you're not doing it right because it's democracy. So while we're all excited about tomorrow, you sit back and we'll go to the news desk and see what Priscilla has for us. Stay tuned.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have
Good morning and welcome. This is the AM News. Good morning and welcome. This is the AM News. I am Priscilla Eworm. Nigeria today is facing a lot of socio-economic, political and security challenges which has negatively impacted on the lives of a lot of Nigerians, especially children. As the world marked the International Children's Day, TVN correspondent Aminu Adamu assessed the situation of children displaced in IDP camps around Abuja.
Nigeria joined the rest of the world to mark the International Children's Day. This is a day set aside to draw the attention of the world to the plight of children globally. In commemoration of this day, the plight of internally displaced children in IDP camp in Nigeria, with particular reference to those in Durumi, a suburb in Apo area of Abuja, is in focus. The children expressed their joy and happiness that they were remembered by TVN's news crew and other concerned individuals and groups who came to further draw the attention of relevant authorities to the need to support children, especially those who of no fault of theirs, neither of their parents, found themselves displaced because of the inability of the government and other relevant agencies to protect them. Mr. Idris Ibrahim Halilu, coordinator Durumi Camp and spokesperson Abuja-based IDP, while expressing his appreciation to the government, supporters, thanked them for making the children feel loved on this auspicious occasion.
Decided I should set aside for the children, dedicated to children, children being the leaders of today and tomorrow. It's very important, so we are so happy that we are to consider as part of humanity that a lot of individuals and NGOs reach out to us, and NTV decided to reach out to us today. So for us, it's a happy day.
Highlighting the challenges faced by the camp, he said that the camp is yet to receive some of the relief materials promised by the government and other corporate bodies and individuals.
Since the insurgency is still ongoing, so the hope of going back immediately is not there. So the settlement angle, as I say, I'm use the word settlement, is being considered not only by us but by the Commission itself, which welcome the issue and they look at the issue from that angle. And we also accepted it and we are now waiting for them to see how we can package something for the government.
Some of the children in the camp also expressed their views.
What do you know about Children's Day? Have you had enough play today?
Anytime they are bad, any place anything like you want, play, anything they like. Happy Children's Day!
Aminu Adamu, TVN News.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday met behind closed doors with South-South traditional rulers at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa, Abuja. The meeting came up on the heels of a threat by a Niger Delta group to declare Niger Delta Republic a separate country from Nigeria in June. The president in the meeting appealed to South-South Monarchs Forum led by King Edmund Daokoro Mingi XII and Mangyana Bo of Nende Kingdom and elders of the zone to do more to end pipeline vandalism in their communities. According to the statement, President Buhari told the traditional rulers who came to congratulate him on his re-election they discuss issues of specific relevance to the zone, that they were culturally and traditionally positioned to complement government efforts at enhancing security in the Niger Delta. He therefore charged them to educate the youths on the dangers such nefarious activities pose to the environment and the economy. President Buhari also decried the spate of kidnapping in the area, urging the royal fathers not to relent in their support to security agencies to effectively contain the negative trend. Responding to an inquiry by the group on 10% equity participation for host communities in solid minerals and whether the same was applicable to the oil sector, President Buhari said the constitution is very mindful of the way resources are shared, saying 13% is given to states in the South region. Speaking on behalf of Bayelsa Elders Council, HRM Alfred Daite Speth, the Amanayanabo of Tuan Brass Kingdom appealed for more tangible federal presence in Bayelsa State. The federal government on Monday unveiled fresh plans to create about 20 million new jobs in 4 different sectors of the economy. The strategy was disclosed in Abuja by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, at the stakeholders meeting on job creation. The minister said that with the huge level of unemployment rate in the country, it had become imperative to come up with a pragmatic approach of creating new jobs for the people. He said the ministry had directed the Industrial Training Fund to come up with innovative solutions to create 20 million jobs in 4 sectors of the economy in the next 4 years. The sector, according to the minister, are agriculture, transportation services, and construction. The minister said with the huge contributions of the sectors to the gross domestic product of the Nigerian economy, it has become imperative to explore their job creation potential to reduce the level of unemployment in the country. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered the immediate posting of CP Ahmed Ilyasu to Kano State Command as Commissioner of Police. Ilyasu takes over from CP Wakili Mohammed, who retired from the force on 26th of May 2019 after 35 years of meritorious service to the force and the nation at large. CP Ahmed Ali Yasu, who holds a master's degree in business administration from Ambrose Ali University, Ekome, was until his deployment the force provost marshal, force headquarters Abuja. Ilyasu, whose posting is with immediate effect, had also held command post position as the Commissioner of Police in the charge of Ogun State Command from 2016 to January 2019. The Inspector General of Police, while wishing the outgoing CP Wakili Mohammed a blissful retirement, enjoined the new CP to up the ante in ensuring effective policing of the country. And that was the AM News. Thank you for watching. I am Priscilla Iwurm. Just stay tuned for the Daybreak Show.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from Television Nigeria, Guzope Hills, Abuja. You know, today, as they talked about democracy moving forward, government just said they're about to create 20 million jobs.
As exciting as that sounds, I would, looking back, we're talking about democracy, looking back at the last 4 years, government had made certain promises, especially in the area of employment, job creation. And you would agree with me that that's a very vital part of the economy. The government has been doing its best in terms of security, doing its best in other areas, but the area of unemployment, once that is tackled, you would find that all these other I don't want to call them little because they are major in their sense too, but these other areas will also be attended to. Yeah, that's true.
So we hope that the new administration by the president you know, takes really careful attention into job creation.
And you see, previously we've had the Minister of Labour and Productivity come out to turn out the plans of government, and we're hoping that this year or in the next 4 years they will not just say, but they will say and do.
Okay.
All right, we will now go over to Daybreak across Africa, news across Africa. We'll be right back.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. The bodies of 8 gold miners have been recovered so far after an explosion in mine shaft in central Zimbabwe, as the Ministry of Information says investigations are underway. In February, 24 illegal miners were killed when a dam burst, flooding a mine shaft just south of the capital, Harare. The miners are believed to have been working illegally in the South African-owned Jumbo mine. The Information Ministry says initial indications are that some miners exploded dynamite in one shaft, causing a collapse in an adjacent one. Illegal mining has increased in Zimbabwe as commercial miners scale down operations because of an economic crisis. The mining methods are rudimentary as safety standards are largely disregarded. Police in Rwanda have accused Ugandan military intelligence officers of adopting 2 Rwandans who crossed into Uganda on Sunday after being invited by their Ugandan friend. The allegation is the latest sign of a strained relationship between the two governments, and on Saturday, Ugandan authorities accused Rwanda military of shooting dead 2 people, a Rwandan and a Ugandan, on the Ugandan side of the border, an allegation the Rwanda denied. Rwanda has closed the Gutana border, which is the busiest border with Uganda, for businesses transporting goods as a result of the feud, and the move has jeopardized trade relations between the two nations. Allies of Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta want William Ruto to step down as deputy president because he is prematurely campaigning to succeed his boss in the 2022 elections. Legislators accuse Ruto of regularly holding political rallies and frustrating President Kenyatta's Big Four agenda that seeks to provide affordable housing, healthcare, food security, and manufacturing. The Star newspaper says lawmakers have warned Ruto not to visit President Kenyatta's home county of Kiambu unless he is accompanied by the head of state. Kenya's 2 terms as president are due to end in 2022, but there are speculations that he may push to change the constitution so that he can remain in government as an executive prime minister. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has signed into law a long-delayed carbon tax, which aims to lower the emissions of one of the continent's worst polluters. From the beginning of June, a tax around $8 per ton of carbon dioxide will be levied. Environmental campaigners say the new tax will enable South Africa to meet the emissions target the country signed up in the 2015 Paris Agreement. South African motorists are likely to feel the effect of the new tax, with fuel prices set to rise later this week. A Sierra Leonean High Court has acquitted Mbatu Football Association President Issa Johansson of all charges of corruption. Her Secretary General was also acquitted of the same crime. The Justin Renigal Finn Court's ruling paves the way for Johansson to be reinstated as the Sierra Leonean Football Association boss. FIFA last year suspended the Football Association due to government interference in soccer affairs, specifically protesting the removal of Johansson and the General Secretary, Christopher Kamara. Thanks for staying with us. Daybreak Africa continues in a moment.
If you're just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from television, Nigeria, Guzape Hills, Abuja. Yesterday was Children's Day. Yeah, we were all excited. The children were excited. But yesterday on the show, we actually talked about the Child Rights Act, the implementation of the Child Rights Act. Because our children in Nigeria go through a lot of ups and downs. You know, there's children who can't go to school, hawking, raping, trafficking, loads and loads of it still go on in Nigeria. So we have a special report on the Child Rights Act. Sit with us. We'll be right back with the report.
The International Children's Day is a day set aside to recognize and celebrate children all over the world and to draw attention to their plight and on the need to advance their growth and development. Nigeria, as a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, also joined in this celebration. In 2003, the country passed into law, or rather adopted and domesticated the Child's Rights Act, which includes, amongst other things, the right to parental care, protection and maintenance, right to free and compulsory universal primary education, right to be given protection and care necessary for his or her well-being. The Act also frowns at child marriages and betrothal, exposure to use, production and trafficking of drugs, prohibition of exploitative labor, and much more. Being a signatory to the Child's Rights Act, the Nigerian government is left with little or no choice in implementing them. The question, therefore, is, has this act been fully complied with? Nigeria, as we all know, is grappling with a lot of socio-economic, political, and security challenges, most of which militate against the growth and development of the Nigerian child, thereby making a mockery of the implementation of the Child's Rights Act. Amongst these factors is also the lack of political will to see to the full implementation of the Act, as evidenced in its gross violation across board. It is a common...
You know how we do it? We do it on the streets with you. Victor is here to show us what we have. Stay with us.
A beautiful Tuesday morning here in Wuse Zone 5, and we are at the front of Sky Memorial Shopping Plaza, and we are taking our newspaper review here today. But yesterday, something happened at National Assembly, the budget, and then we'll see how the newspaper captured all of the stories that originated from the passage of that 2019 budget. And then so we start our review today, and we'll try to look at, let's start from leadership as it.
Welcome to TVN Business on Daybreak Africa. I am Chiwendo Osisiero. Investors of the nation's stock market gained 885 billion naira last week as the market capitalization of equities rose to 13.601 trillion naira. The all-share index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange appreciated by 6.96% to close the week at 30,881.29 basic points. A total turnover of 1.698 million shares worth 57.895 billion naira in 24,328 deals were traded by the investors on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange last week, in contrast to a total of 1.172 billion shares valued at 17.887 billion naira. The exchange hands in 18,380 deals the previous week. The financial services industry led the activities chart with 1.121 billion shares valued at 8,708 billion naira, traded in 13,380 deals, thus contributing 66.01% and 15.04% to the total equity turnover value and value respectively. Traded in the top three equities, namely MTN Nigerian Communications PLC, Sovereign Trust Insurance PLC, accounted for 726.103 million shares worth 41.622 billion naira in 4,972 deals, contributing 42.75% and 71.89% to the total equity turnover and value respectively. The Securities and Exchange Commission has pledged to work with the Steering Committee for Project Lighthouse initiative recently inaugurated by the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed. According to a statement on Sunday, the Acting Director General, Sec. Mary Udok, commended the initiative and expressed the Commission's support at the weekend in Abuja. Udok expressed the need for collaboration among relevant agencies to assist the government in its revenue generation drive, describing the Project Lighthouse as a positive step in that direction. She said that it is clear that data and information will certainly aid the generation of more revenue, and in the long run, all agencies will be better for it as there are more resources for governments to carry out development. According to Uduk, low revenue generation is a source of worry as it will be difficult for government to provide critical infrastructure that will encourage investment in the country. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation on Sunday announced a total export sale of crude oil and gas of $490 million, 150 billion naira at the official exchange rate of 306 naira 9 kobo to $1 in February 2019, which was 32.45% higher than the previous month's sale. Data in the just released February 2019 edition of the corporation's monthly financial and operations report show that crude oil export sale contributed $350.29 million, 71.48% of the dollar transaction compared with $240.23 million contribution in the previous month. The report stated that the export gas sale amounted to $139.74 billion in the month under review, adding that the February 2019 to February 2018 crude oil and gas transaction indicated that crude oil and gas was $5.94 billion were exported. The report announced a 40% drop in recorded cases of oil pipeline vandalism in February 2019 when compared with the reported incident of January 2019. That's the much we have for you today on TVN Business. I am Chiwendo Osisiogo. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
Thank you, Chiwe, for giving us updates on the business world. Now let's move over to our news, Let's move on to our sports, where Ima is standing by to give us updates on the interesting world of sports.
Good morning and welcome to the sports segment of Daybreak Africa. The federal government yesterday fulfilled a 25-year pledge to former technical advisor of the Super Eagles, Clemens Westerhoff, at an impressive ceremony inside the conference room of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Abuja. The minister, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, said the occasion was a further proof that the Buhari administration was committed to putting right the wrongs of yesterday and redressing all forms of yesterday's injustice. Westerhoff, a Dutchman, was head coach of the Super Eagles class of 1994 that won Nigeria's first ever FIFA World Cup ticket, won Nigeria's first African Cup of Nations title on away ground, and reached the round of 16 at the FIFA World Cup in the USA. Hotspot Media Group, Nigeria's foremost marketing and production company, has formalized its relationship with Africa's largest television network, the Nigerian Television Authority, as the official exclusive marketers of the 22nd African Cup of Nations, which kicks off in Cairo on June 21. Will broadcast the matches on terrestrial television channels across Nigeria, while the Super Eagles will be among 24 teams contesting to lift the trophy on July 19 in the showpiece game. The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between NTA and Hotspots in Abuja during the week, NTA Director General Yakubu Ibn Muhammad assured that NTA would deploy its immense experience in the coverage and broadcast of international sports competition to AFCON 2019 and other tournaments in view, and it was determined to deliver exciting moments for Nigerian sports fans through the partnership with Hotspots. The Director of Public Prosecution has asked the Chairman of the Special Presidential Investigation Panel, Okoye Obono Obla, to withdraw the criminal charges filed against President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, and 4 others over alleged mismanagement of $8,400 belonging to FIFA. The prosecution body, in a letter dated May 22nd, signed by Garba Hangwea for the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, asked the Obla panel to forward the case file to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation for further action. According to the report, those charged with Mr. Pinnick include NFF Secretary Sanusi Mohammed, the First Vice President Sheyi Akinwumi, Second Vice President Shehu Diko, and an Executive Member Yusuf Fresh. Sebastian Soto scored twice as the United States picked up a crucial 2-0 win against Nigeria in its second match at the 2019 Under-20 World Cup on Monday night. The Americans came into the match needing a result after a disappointing 2-1 loss to Ukraine in their opening match of the game. The Nigerian team, despite the loss, hopes to consolidate on their 4-0 thrash of Qatar in their opening game at the competition to secure a place. That is the much we have for you today on the sports segment of Daybreak Africa. Daybreak Africa continues in a moment. I am Idoko Emmanuel.
Thank you for joining us on this segment of Daybreak Africa. Always remember you can leave your comments and follow us on all our social media handles. We'll be back same time tomorrow. I am Lucy Ora. Thank you for having us.
And I am Quest Ahundu. Join us tomorrow for more exciting reports.